So the following is a warm-up to be done prior to K-Sports sessions. Okay, they'll focus more on movement, short space agility, footwork. So it's going to be more of a fluid warm-up than the track style warm-up with the K-Speed sessions. This first drill that you're seeing is just a low skip. Okay, skipping is very rudimentary athletic movement, and for the developing athletes, this is going to be a drill that they will start off their movement-based session with. So it's just a rhythmical exercise, skipping forward, down, and back. Okay, we'll build on this skipping into more complex skips, but the skipping pattern itself will stay the same. So from that low skip, we're going to build this up now into a A skip. Okay, so I'm trying to stay in the balls of my feet. I'm trying to pop my knee up quickly, and my arm action and my knee action are working opposite arm, opposite leg. Okay, so they're working in opposition. Left knee, right arm, left knee. Again, I'm trying to stay in the balls of my feet, pop up quickly, fire up my hip flexors, but it's the same skipping movement that we did with that low skip. Okay, try to make sure that they're keeping that head up, that their chest is up, that they're maintaining good posture, and that they're popping that knee up quickly. Pop, pop, pop. Staying on the balls of their feet. Okay, now we're going to get a little bit more explosive with it, a little bit more dynamic. Okay, it's the same skipping pattern, but we're going to take it up into a high skip. So now we're trying to generate force, drive our body vertically towards the ceiling. Still working in opposition. Everything else stays the same. The only difference is I'm driving that knee, pushing off my opposite toe, and trying to get as high as I can. Okay, here you see me coming down the line. And again, short ground phase, long air time, relatively. And trying to explode towards the ceiling. Okay, again, coming at you. Straight up, pop, pop, pop. Knee drives and the toe pushes. If they're doing this right, the arms should also be working to propel their body upward. Next drill in this warm-up is going to be a long skip. Okay, same pattern, but instead of trying to propel your force vertically, we're trying to propel it horizontally. So now I'm trying to drive out and cover as much ground as I can with each skip. So this is your long skip. Again, just like with the high skip, the upper body is active in this. It's working to drive. Okay, look at my arms. Throwing the arm towards the target. Throw, throw, throw. Okay, and try to cover as much ground as you can with each one of these strides. You're not going to get very high on this. It's not a vertical exercise. Okay, you're only going to get maybe a couple inches off the ground, but you're pushing forward as far as you can. Pop, 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 pop. Good. Okay, so now we're going to test coordination a little bit. Same skipping pattern, but we're going to be moving laterally. So your feet are doing the same thing, your arms are doing the same thing. But the difference is we're moving lateral and stepping over. Pop, step, step. Okay, again, pop, step, moving laterally. If you have kids that are trying to get this side skipping and having a hard time with the pattern, bring them back to the front skipping and let them get the footwork down and then turn them sideways. And before they go high with their knees, just have them go low. And they can almost stay stationary in place and just work on their footwork as part of the skip. And once they start to get that, go ahead and have them start to move laterally a little bit. And once they can move laterally, nice and slow, and get their footwork down and get their arms into the action, then have them gradually start lifting their knees a little bit higher. Here I'm also doing a skip. Okay, it's the same thing that I did forward as far as my feet and my arms, but now I'm working backwards instead of forwards. So it's skip, 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 but I'm reaching back and trying to open my hips. Okay, these sessions, these K-Sport sessions, are going to be focused around movement mechanics, body control, change of direction, change of pace, biomechanics. So by doing a lot of skipping and as part of the warm-up, we are priming that nervous system for coordination. And once we start the workout, we're going to be working on teaching them different things, teaching them to drop their hips, teaching them to change directions, teaching them to get low when they decelerate. And this type of a warm up with all of the skipping is going to prepare them for that. Here you see I'm going forward and backwards. It's the same skip. Okay, with most of these drills, my feet are going to be doing the same thing. Pop, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's very similar to the skip. Now, here I'm stepping over to the outside, and then when I move backwards, I'm opening up my hips and reaching back. This is a hip mobility exercise. It's also coordination. So here I'm trying to move forward, step over, step over, step over. Hip mobility as well as coordination. Okay, same thing when I move backwards, reach back, reach back, reach back. Okay, this type of a warm-up done over time will go a long way to prevent all those little nagging hip strains, groin strains. It's going to work a lot for hip mobility. This exercise here is more for posterior chain mobility. So I'm doing a skip for my pattern, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but then I'm reaching in opposition. So right hand, left foot, left hand, right foot, reaching and touch, reaching and touch. Okay, it's a dynamic flexibility drill. You'll notice athletes that are going through a growth spurt, so 13, 14, 15-year-old kids that you'll have are going to be really tight in that area. Make sure that those kids use proper technique and take their time and don't go higher than they have the capability to go. Okay, now we're kind of going just the opposite. Now we're dropping our hips and we're scooping. Okay, so I'm reaching on both sides of my front leg towards the ground, scoop, scoop, and I'm going on a diagonal pattern. Okay, so you'll see this better when I'm coming head on. Drop your hips, diagonal lunge, drop your hips, diagonal lunge. Reach and scoop. As I reach and scoop, my chest comes forward and it puts my hamstrings more on a stretch. Okay, so I'm getting a good eccentric contraction of the hamstrings as I reach forward. A lot of what I do in the K-Sport training sessions is going to be eccentric in nature, so that's going to be a good one to prime us. Okay, this next drill is just a side shuffle with an arm swing. It's just a very fluid movement. Okay, and now we're starting getting into a little bit more challenging part of the warm-up. Here we're going to be doing accelerations and decelerations. So I'm going to accelerate quickly, drop my hips, and decelerate. Okay, again, accelerate quickly, drop my hips, and decelerate. Okay, as they decelerate, I want to see that chest high, head up, but drop those hips and take shorter steps to decelerate. Okay, coming head on. Notice long strides, short strides. Long strides, short strides. Okay, decelerate and accelerate again. Decelerate and accelerate again. Burst. Okay, looking for that change of pace. Decelerate, back pedal, and now change directions. Okay, so again, we're going to accelerate, decelerate, reverse directions with the back pedal, chop, and get out. Okay, so again, I'm looking for low, reach, butt back, chop, and get out. drop, reach and get back, chop to get out. Trying to maintain that forward lean the whole drill. Okay, coming back from the other side. Okay, knees are high with an acceleration. Drop your hips, reach back, chop and get out. Okay, now I'm just starting square and I'm doing a crossover step, trying to cover as much ground as I can with each step. This should go maybe 5 times each side as part of the warm-up. So again, my butt is down, my chest is up, my back is flat, cross, cross. Cover as much ground as you can with each one of these. If the athletes are doing this right, they should be huffing and puffing at this point. Okay, so now we're going to do just a little bit of dynamic flexibility to finish up our warm-up prior to starting the instruction side of the K-Sport sessions. So this is an inchworm. I'm just starting in a pike position, butt high, hands down, reaching towards the ground. I'm walking myself out to a push-up position. And now I'm creeping my feet back in, keeping my legs straight and my hands down, stretching my hamstrings, glutes, low back. That's our inchworm. Okay, with this, same thing. I would do maybe 5 of these. 5 of these down, 5 of these back. Okay, next drill is a hip mobility exercise. So in a push-up position, we're going to reach outside of that front foot. Reach outside of that front hand, dropping your hips. Okay. Here we're hitting the groin, adductors, high hamstrings. Okay, next drill is going to be just the opposite. Now we're reaching cross body. Slide that right foot straight through the middle and drop your hip down. Okay, stretching the IT band, your external rotators. Another good hip mobility exercise. It's going to help with your trunk rotation as well. That concludes the movement prep warm-up that will be done prior to all K-Sport sessions.